Behind me is one of England's greatest castles. Well, I wouldn't really say that, but it's one of the most beautiful. Kirby Muxloe was never finished. It's a castle that was meant to be an incredible Tudor building, but the person who organised the building of it actually was executed inside the walls of the Tower of London, being the first high-profile person to lose their head within one of history's most infamous prisons. Join us today as we look at the remarkable Kirby Muxloe Castle, one of England's most forgotten castles. Remember, as always, to support our channel, please make sure to subscribe. So one of the amazing things you notice about Kirby Muxloe Castle is the beautiful moat that surrounds it. It was a castle, like I said, that was never completed, and there's only really two parts of the castle that have been finished. The first being the gatehouse, which was built first initially as a way of securing the castle, and the second is one tower which sits in the corner, but the tower itself was never really used. Like I said, construction on it stopped very suddenly following the execution of a man called William, Lord Hastings. Kirby Muxloe Castle began its construction in 1480 on the site of a former manor house. William Lord Hastings was a favourite of King Edward IV and was a prominent member of the House of York during the Wars of the Roses. He was a chamberlain of the royal household and gained a lot of land across the Midlands. He first of all moved his seat of power to Ashby-de-la-Zouch Castle nearby, before he then decided to build a huge castle at Kirby Muxloe. The king authorised this, and then Kirby Muxloe Castle would be surrounded by a huge deer park of around 2,000 acres. Whilst the castle was being made, the original manor house was protected and used as the castle was built around it. A workshop that made around 100,000 bricks a week was set up, and these were then brought over from Flanders. The work progressed quickly, and at the busiest times 40 men were working on the construction, and at least one corner tower had nearly been finished by 1483. But following the death of King Edward IV, the Princes in the Tower debacle occurred, with their uncle Richard III seizing the throne. William Lord Hastings was unable to support the declaration that the heir Edward V was illegitimate, and with this Richard III summoned him to the Tower of London. During a meeting, Richard III berated Lord Hastings, before he then had him dragged out of a room before he was executed by an axeman, who struck his head off on the cobbled streets of the Tower. Hastings became the first man executed inside the walls of the Tower of London. Following this, his widow tried to continue some work, but the project of building Kirby Muxloe Castle was halted. Around 1.3 million bricks had been laid, but only one tower was created along with the gatehouse, which was habitable also. With the execution of Hastings, the building of Kirby Muxloe was completely abandoned. It would have been a beautiful castle, with 4 towers in each corner, surrounded by a moat, and also protected by a gatehouse with a number of cannon in place to bolster the defences. But as you can see, it's a beautiful room, but would have been an absolutely immense castle. It's a beautiful surrounding. So as mentioned, the only part of the castle that's completed is this tower behind me. You can see it's about 3 stories, and it is completely colossal. And there would have been one of them in each 4 corners of Kirby Muxloe Castle. So we're now in the gatehouse, one of the only parts that was completed, and this is where guards would literally patrol and check what came in and out of the castle. You can see there's lots of different cannon holes to protect this part of the castle, and this is one of the only parts that was nearly finished. So we're now in the upper part of the gatehouse. This would have been a huge building which was meant to make Kirby Muxloe feel really intimidated. It's been fitted with a number of key things to add that. First of all, if we have a little look over here, we have down here a portcullis, and that would drop down and secure the castle. You can see this is where it went here. You can also see some other strange things as well. For example, we have 2 fireplaces, one there, and also one at the other end. We have some beautiful windows that would have allowed guards to look out the front of the castle over towards the moat. We have a number of different turrets as well. We also would have had some big windows that would have looked out onto the inner bailey, so guards could check everything what was going on here and sort of keep the castle under control. What is cool about the upper gatehouse is that each of the turrets offer a different view of the castle and what's around. So for example, in here you'll see out towards the moat, so if there's any invaders or attackers, but also they have different rooms as well. So if you follow me this way, we have another room looking out onto the bailey, but also the most important thing in the medieval castle, we have the toilet, and that would go straight out towards the moat, taking all the human waste away with it, which would mean that the moat would not be blue and have beautiful water in it, it would have human waste. Not good. However, thinking about it, if you had a moat filled with human waste, that's probably quite a good thing, because it means your enemies aren't going to want to swim through it, adding a bit more security to the castle. But we're inside another tower, and you can see a beautiful view out here. What's great about the view from up here is you can see what the castle would have looked like. So in the corner we'd have another tower over there. We also have a few, you can see the foundations of a few other buildings here. There'd be another tower over there as well, all surrounded by this lovely moat. So from here you have a lovely view of the gatehouse and also the only bit of Kirby Muxloe Castle that was finished, the tower in the corner there. By looking at the tower in the corner you can really see how big this place would have been. You can imagine one of them in each four corners. Currently where I'm sat as well, there would have been one as well. You can see that the foundations were built, but obviously it was never finished. So this is the West Tower. This is the only part that was finished. It's an absolute maze of doorways, fireplaces, and it would have been accommodation for very high profile guests. It was connected by one central staircase, and each room has a toilet, showing how high profile these people were that were intended to come and stay at Kirby Muxloe Castle. It's believed possibly that King Edward IV was intended to come and stay here, and it would have been here where he would have came for a visit and slept if this place had ever been finished. As you can see through there's some stairs that will take you up to the upper bit. We can see we've got a chimney as well there, which would have heated all these different rooms. There's another one here in front. There's crenellations on top for defence, meaning that guards would probably be up there patrolling. So I hope you've enjoyed our look at Kirby Muxloe Castle. As always, to support our channel, please make sure to like, share and also subscribe to the Fortress. Thank you for watching.